Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Marcia Erickson, and I'm the host for today's conversation. My guest today is Wade Connor, the sole owner of Wade's Property Services LLC, right here in the Quad Cities of Iowa and Illinois. We're going to be talking about his interesting journey to business ownership, the challenges he's faced along the way, the wins he's had, and he's going to give us a real look into what it's like to grow and run a business. Welcome, Wade.
Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Before we dig in, I'd love for you to give us just a peek into, tell us a little bit about your background on who you are and tell us a little bit about the business.
Okay, so my name is Wade Connor. I'm 19. I have a high school diploma. I graduated from Sherrard High School. At 15, I started it as a side hustle. I was making a little bit of money. And at 17, I made my first six figures. I realized, hey, we can turn this into a company. So got an LLC. And then I've been growing it ever since. And I've been in business legally for the last 2.5 years, and I love it.
Wonderful. What do you love about it?
The best thing I love about it is it keeps my brain busy, and seeing your employees or seeing the people you're affecting or just the customers in general, uh, seeing people's smiles on their faces because of something you created will always stick with me. That'll
Yeah.
always stick with me. And then it also, every day it's a challenge for me. Like for my brain, I always need a challenge. I need a goal. I need something to keep me busy. And a business definitely does that for you.
Excellent. Tell us about the services that Wade's Property Services provides.
Okay, so the services we offer are we do lawn mowing, landscaping, and hardscaping. So we trim bushes, we mow your lawn, hedge your bushes. We kind of do just about anything outdoors for you that you need taken care of so you have more time on the weekends to do what you want to do with your family.
Yeah, fantastic. Tell us about the hardscaping. Are you doing concrete? Are you doing retaining walls? What do you do in that space?
So we've been doing retaining walls. We've been doing
Mhm.
retaining walls. That's something I had a mentor when I was in high school that really helped me. I built a couple walls with him, and being able to have a mentor that does that for me, it really helps me feel confident in doing it on my own. So we've been doing more retaining walls than anything.
Okay. How big's your team? You mentioned your team. How big are they?
Yeah, so we have 5 employees. So I have four employees that do the work. So two are on the mowing crew, two are on the landscaping, and the other one, he's our social media guy. So on Facebook, Instagram, Google, if you look up Wade's Property Services LLC, you'll see a bunch of videos of me and my crew.
Excellent. Excellent. Tell me, so you are sole owner, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Yeah. Tell me about what does your day-to-day look like? Because it's changed a little bit, right? We had the opportunity to talk about that before today. Tell us how you've evolved in that regard.
Yeah, so this is the biggest thing I've learned this year. So last year for me, it was I used to work in the business. So I was the one doing the labor, I was the one doing the scheduling, advertising, marketing, doing the work, talking to the customer, everything. Now, this year, kind of about middle through the year, I realized I cannot do that anymore. So I had to learn how to delegate tasks. So for me, is creating automated systems like Jobber, and then also trusting my employees and putting things in place, SOPs, to make certain things are getting done correctly, customers are happy, and being able to switch to working on the business than in the business is very important.
Excellent, excellent. What do you think that breakdown is now? How many hours a week do you get to work on the business?
I would say I'd say it's about I'd say about 80% of the time I get to work on the business and
Excellent.
20% in the business. The 20% comes in because I do also enjoy talking to the guys and being with the guys. I do genuinely enjoy that, but the other 80% is working on the business. So really studying my numbers. I'm trying to figure that out now. I'm not one that knows everything, but I'll work hard at it to figure it out. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Excellent. So let's stick with that. You may have just answered this question, but maybe there's something else. So every owner we talk to is growing through something, right? New challenge, new opportunity, new season in the business. What are you growing through right now that's demanding the most of you?
What is demanding the most of me is employees. So I think a lot of things in business are very logical. What you put in it is what you get out of it. But with employees, it's very different. It's a lot more. You have to figure out, and I'm going through it right now, so I don't know it, but what I've learned is you have to be able to have SOPs in place. Things
Mhm.
have to, there's procedures that need to be in place because if you do not have procedures or they do not sign off on anything, you can never go back on anything and they can kind of just get free roam. So you need to have SOPs in place. So then they know what the consequences are, what they're supposed to do, and how things
Yeah.
are supposed to roll so the day to day can be easier than not
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same as when we're employees, right? We want clarity. We want to know what's going to make us successful, what's going to make us less than successful. Um, and it just, yeah, it takes the chaos out of
Yeah.
the running of the business. That's excellent. Um, what's one thing if someone handed you a solution for how would it change? What would it be and how would it change running your business?
If I could have one, I think I'm reading that. I think I'm hearing the question right. If I had one solution to my business that someone could give me, that
Mm-hmm.
would be understanding my numbers.
Okay.
So it'd be really understanding my numbers, like very in depth. So like each job, and I'm working on it. Like I
Yeah.
know the percentage I need to hit because I necessarily don't have a blueprint to go off of. I need to
Yeah.
figure that out. But if someone can give me the percentages on what things should be hit at, like your profit margin. I'm pretty good at profit margins, but understanding your profit margins different than your revenue,
Mm-hmm.
understanding how much you make per job, what jobs produce the most money, which jobs don't. I think
Yeah.
I wish I had that solution.
Good for you. Good for you for figuring that out and wanting to figure it out at this stage in the business. Often when I meet with new clients, we're working on probably two main things to start, maybe three. Profitability, right? If they're in a profitable space, making sure they're maximizing it. Systems, putting systems into place within the business to run it well. And I would say third would be time management. So you are off and running. You
I
are
just
ahead of most.
I agreed with everything you just said. Those three things. I mean, you named it just right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where do you want to go with the business? So, this is new. You're loving what you're doing. What does the next 3 to 5 years look like for you?
The next 3 to 5 years for me is definitely expanding the company a lot. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily know how big. I don't think I have necessarily a number in mind, but I do know I want a lot of employees. I want a big name. I want something that's going to stand and you know it. Like if you're in the Quad Cities, you know this company, you know it's a big company. And I think that's kind of where I want to be at. But I also, at the same time, with the time management, I want it to create something. So in my personal life, I can do the things I want to enjoy. So traveling or buying a house or just doing things in my personal life. I want that. I want my business to be able to do that for me while also growing.
Excellent. Excellent. Sometimes we tell clients we want business to give you more life, not take away from your life. So it should feed all those things. So good for you. Good perspective already. Um, what do you think? What will be the biggest hurdle between here and there?
I would say the biggest hurdle would be, I think the biggest hurdle would be patience. I think,
Mm,
uh, I think sometimes as business owners, you're working so hard at it and you want it now. You want it now. You just want to go buy it. You want to move forward. But in reality, patience is the key and you should actually wait and be what's the word? You should be selectively aggressive. You should be
ooh,
selectively aggressive. That's what my dad's always told me. He said, be selectively aggressive. It's fun as the business owner because sometimes when things are going right, you kind of get a little, not ego, but sometimes you get a little bit of an ego. But that's when you need to sit back and realize, okay, where can I really leave my mark and what's the next best move strategically?
yeah, excellent. What's it going to mean? So when you picture, um, you've got big things planned for the business. What's that going to feel like when you see the billboard, when you're, a household name? What's that going to feel like for you, or what's it going to mean to you?
I'm gonna give a very, and this is actually I'm going off script a little bit. I want to say this is actually like the reason why. I'll explain it. I don't know if it's really going to help your podcast, but I just, uh, what it will feel like to me, it will feel good for me, but really my main objective is I'm young right now, but when I have kids, I want to show my kids what's possible. And I want a lot of kids, and I think being able to show your kids what's possible and that they can do anything if they put their mind to it, I think is the most important thing.
That's
That's
beautiful.
what I want.
Yeah.
That's what it would mean
That's
to me. So
wow.
having the kids being able to see that maybe when they're older is
Yeah.
important to me to show something.
That's that's powerful. And I can tell just in the conversations we've had that your parents have poured into you and taught you a lot of great lessons. And so, Anna, I imagine you have some pretty stellar role models. So it makes sense that you would want to do that same thing for your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's incredible. And it's the fun part of being a business owner, right?
yeah.
Being able to show others that. Perfect. So let's switch gears just a little bit. Everybody has questions about marketing, right? Anybody who's in business wants to know what's someone else doing, what's working, what have they not thought of? What has helped you build the business from a marketing and relationship building standpoint? How are people finding you?
Okay, so I'll explain it first in the easiest way. So when you first start out, it's word to mouth. Word to mouth is number one. Treat your
Yeah.
clients well, they're going to treat you well. I think every business owner will say that. Word to mouth referrals,
Yeah.
10 times fold, way better than I think anything else. Also, at the
Sure.
same time, word to mouth is an organic lead. If you don't know what an organic lead is, you paid $0 for that lead.
Mhm.
So that's very important, word to mouth. But once you get to a point where you're trying to selectively trying to grow a little bit quicker,
Yeah.
what I did to kind of boost, because I'm a seasonal, I'm a landscaper, so I have seasonal work.
Yeah.
I did Valpak. So that's basically a mailing company, and you can choose certain areas that you
Hmm.
can hit that have a certain income or a certain household or a certain area, and they all get your flyer in the mail, which
Yeah.
I think creates a lot of leads and is really good. I've ran it myself and I've been happy with what I've got. And
Okay.
another thing on the background is hire an SEO company, hire a team to create your Google page and start having reviews, and growing your SEO, which is search engine optimization, which helps people when they go to Google and look up lawn care near me or hair boutique near me. You're the first company that pops up. So those are, I guess, three things that I hope you can take away
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah. How do you know they're working? So this is also where business owners can get tripped up. How do you track those yourself? Do you know your return on investment for some of those marketing strategies?
Yeah, so I don't know my exact return on investment. I can't give you an
Mhm.
exact decimal point, but I
Okay.
do know for my Google page, my SEO, the company I hired every month they give me a sheet, and the sheet
Hmm.
basically shows how many people got trafficked to your website by looking up keywords. So
Yeah.
it showed me that. And whenever I talked to a client, I asked how they got my name. And then in
Excellent.
Jobber is a CRM
Yeah.
software I use. You can put down how you got the client. You write it down. So you put Google, you can put Valpak, and that's what I'll do. So at the end of the year, I haven't went through it. I'm going to see how much I got from here, how much I got from this, and go
Yeah.
from
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, you are far ahead a lot of business owners. What does your sales process look like? And some people hate that word, but what is your process when someone reaches out to you? What can they expect in terms of a an experience? Um, how does your process start? Is it a phone call? How quickly are they called back? How do you figure out what their needs are? What does that look like for you?
Okay, so for me, when someone calls me, I try and answer it right away. If not, I will answer it in the same day. Give them a call, and then I go straight to my Google Calendar. I will then say, "Hey, what time will work best for you? This time and this time works for me." Get them booked in, and I say, "Okay, cool. I will see you then." And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the job, look over everything, and go from there. Meet them in person. That's very important. Meeting them in person, being friendly. Don't have to be all salesy. I think that actually ruins it. Don't be all salesy, be personable. That's my opinion. And then go there, talk to them, and then a couple of days later, I'll send them a quote via email, and then they look at it, and my job or my CRM software follows up with them every 2 days. So then I don't have to physically follow up with them, but following up with quotes is very important because sometimes the client just has questions. So they get followed up, then they approve the quote. And then once they approve the quote, I'll give them a call or text, say, hey, we'll be here at this time, and communication is key. So they know when we'll be there, when we'll do the job, so they can put their dogs inside, or they know when people will be at their property. And then we get the job done. And then my CRM software and jobber follows up with them and asks for a Google review. So that's kind of our system.
Yeah, excellent. So there's, a variety of landscaping companies and outdoor companies in the area. Who do you serve best? What makes you a little bit different or set you apart from some of your competitors?
I would say what makes us different than the rest of the landscaping companies, and I think we take really good pride in this, is our communication. We always get praised for our communication. When I hear about other companies or when I go to new clients, they always say communication. They never knew when the guys were coming to do the job. They didn't know when they were going to come back. They didn't know basically anything. They were
Mhm.
told a date and they never showed up. But for me, I always try to make sure we communicate. If something were to get moved around, I communicate. So communicate, create a relationship with the customer, and you'll be good.
Good. What's one thing you wish people knew about what you do?
Are you talking about in the business spectrum
Yeah.
or?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want people, what's one thing that you would like people to know about the business and the services you provide?
I'm trying to follow kind of. What are you saying?
So there's a lot of messages that we give people, in our marketing and our communication. What's maybe something that you don't haven't put out there? Again, it's similar to what makes you unique. But if you're talking to someone and they're getting to know your business, what's something, maybe it's um, something that is unique to in your industry that they may be like, oh, all landscape companies do this and yours is a little bit different. So what would, if you had more one-on-one time with a prospect, what would you want them to know about your business? Anything unique or different? What are
I
some
would,
reasons someone may want to do business with you versus a different landscape company? I think your story is pretty impressive myself. You think most people can guess your age?
no, I don't know. I would say one thing I think why some people do business with us or why you would or what makes us unique is I would say the story behind it.
Yeah.
I'm not a corporation. I'm not I wasn't funded by loads of money. It was dedicated off hard work, caring and trying. And I think people value that. I think people value someone who is young and is trying and is not letting the world push them around. So I think that's why people do business with us. I think that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, last question. So you have a team and that's probably fairly new to you. Are you at a place where can you describe your leadership style yet? Have you thought about that?
Yes. Um, I would say my leadership with my guys, I think I've learned is I like letting my guys try things out. I don't want them to come up to me and say, unless they really don't know what they're doing, I like my guys to try it out. I want them to try and figure it out on their own, and I will come to overlook. And I think there's a big part in letting someone try and not telling them. Because I think a lot of people, when they get told what to do, they just have to figure it out on their own. They have to realize they have to mess up to kind of figure it out. That's my opinion. So like just instance for today, my guy was putting in a pergola and he just kind of cross threaded a screw. And it was because it was just super hot out. He wasn't thinking. So it ended up taking him about 30 minutes to get the screw out. I said, okay, what did you learn? And he basically told me, be patient and do it right. And I was like, and right there and then he had that look on his face like, I'm never doing this again. So I think that's kind of my way of leadership. But then also focusing on culture, like making certain we all know why we're here. Uh, what's the goal? So I always tell my guys, what's the goal? And they know what the goal is to grow and expand.
Excellent. Excellent. I love it. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
That's cool.
Okay. What's the key to success for you?
The key to success for me is to keep trying. I'm one of those where I need to keep trying and I'm really good at keep trying. I will never quit. I always tell myself words of affirmation. I say it when I'm on a run or a walk. I always say you can't beat someone that won't quit. You
Love
can't.
it.
You can't
Love
because if
it.
you don't quit, it doesn't matter.
Excellent. Excellent. I love someone who believes in affirmations. What's one piece of advice you have for other business owners?
One piece of advice I'd have for other business owners is to keep trying. I mean, it's
Amen.
very simple. Like keep trying. You're gonna have those times where you feel like, man, this is hell. Like this is hard. Like this is harsh, and you just have to keep going through it. It may be sluggish for a couple months. I've went through it. I'm saying this from my own experience where I really was down in the dumps, but I realized if I just look at my forecast and I keep moving on, and I look at the end goal and why I started, you're good. You're good.
Super inspirational. What is a book you're reading or podcast you're listening to right now, or something that you're learning from?
So I'll come. I mean, this may not be the exact answer. Uh, I would say me as a Gen Z, I learn best visually, but also someone telling me something. I'm not really big into book reading. I know in the entrepreneur world, that's very harped on. You need to read. But for me, it's YouTube. I have
Yeah.
I use YouTube all the time. And for me, I like learning about many different things. I really like psychology. I really like learning about that. But when I'm stuck in my business or I look for other people to who are kind of in my position, YouTube does that for you. I mean, there's
Yeah.
YouTube, you can look at college courses, you can look at people that are in your situation and they explain it to you and how they got through it. And I think YouTube is the way that's
Yeah.
what I've been studying.
I think it is generational, but I think we're all the point you're making is really well taken in that there's lots of ways to get information,
Yeah.
and we're finding that more and more, right? We haven't even tapped into AI yet, but there's lots of ways to get information and learning. So excellent. Here's a fun question: if you had a little bit of magic dust and you could springlet somewhere in the business, where would it go in the business?
If I had a little bit of magic dust and I had to put it somewhere in the business, it would go straight to my books. It would
Ah,
go straight to my knowledge and understanding my books. And I think
okay.
if I had that, that would really help me out because
Yeah.
numbers are numbers at the end of the day. It's no emotions. It tells you what's actually happening in your business.
Excellent. What a commercial for knowing your numbers. I love it. Okay, before we get to the final question of the day, people are going to want to find you now. So, how can they find you and how can they find the business?
Okay, yeah. So if you're looking to find the business, we have a Google page, Wade's Property Services LLC. Look that up and you'll find us also on Facebook and Instagram, Wade's Property Services LLC. It has our phone number, contact information, email, everything through there. If you are a client or looking to become a client on our Google page, it shows you all of our reviews. We have 116 five-star reviews out of 116. So we pride on that. But that's how you can find us.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, final question of the day. What's inspiring you? What's most inspiring you today?
What's most inspiring me today and my always goal driven brain is I cannot wait to have kids and I want to give them the world. It's simple as that. I've always been that way.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I just want my kids to
Wow.
see what their dad's done. I think that's very important.
What a powerful driver and what an opportunity you have to do that. Well, Wade, this has been an incredible conversation. I appreciate your time today. Thanks for sharing your story with everyone. And to everyone watching this show, come back, save it, come back and listen to it, especially if you need a little bit of inspiration. I got a lot of inspiration out of this today. So you've dropped some real insights. Listeners, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you'll know every time we drop an episode. And Wade, thank you for joining us today. This has been a great conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Marcia, for letting me on, and I really appreciate your time.